Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is 9 Miles Up. I'm a real life 737 pilot, and today we're going to show you the taxi out, the briefing before departure, and we're going to show you a departure up to an approximate altitude of flight level 100. So you'll see the basic steps while we go through it with a tiny explanation of who does what and what we would do in real life. Before we start flying, guys, I want to already now say I'm sorry about my terrible flying skills in the flight sim. I don't have a great setup as of yet to this, but I hope that you can get out of it what the intention is anyway. Great. So we're pushed back. The before taxi checklist is completed. Let's say we get the taxi instructions to taxi in Billund here via, what is it called, November, and then we join Kilo down to Mike or full length runway 27, okay? So with that instructions, we're going to release the parking brake. First officer will call clear right, captain will call clear left, and then we would do the config. This should be blank, by the way. Config full power and back to what we need for a taxi. So config is now checked. Put on the taxi lights. Clear right and clear left so we can turn right here. Take it nice and slow when we're on the apron here, and while we are turning, we are never in a hurry when we're in an airplane. Great, so we've left the ramp, everybody's happy with the taxi. We're gonna do the first left here all the way down to the full length runway 27. So hit me up with the before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist, config is checked. Flaps 5, green light. Stab trim 6.2 units, set. Takeoff briefing. It will be a right seat takeoff. Runway 27, PAX auto, bleeds on, NAPD2. After departure, it's straight ahead, 700 feet, then it's a right turn inbound the Bravo India Point mandatory flight over, then a left turn inbound ALS, we're clear right, clear left. Climbing flight level 60 as a stop altitude. We have EO sit Bravo Lima Lima X-ray 2 located 25 miles straight ahead from the runway threshold, climbing 3,000 feet, holding 264 inbound with right turns, where we can sort out the problem. MSA is not an issue. We're gonna be over the terrain in Denmark, which is super flat. Speeds are in. Dry speeds 363845 is set. Any questions? No. So that is reviewed. Takeoff briefing reviewed. Cabin. And let's say they ding us now. Cabin is secured. And at this point, the first officer will call, okay, Tower, Ryanair, blah blah blah. We are fully ready for departure. Okay, Ryanair, 21 Bravo. We have no traffic around the aerodrome. You are clear to line up and wait. Runway 27 via intersection Mike. Clear line up, wait. Runway 27 via intersection Mike. In this case, when we're cleared line up, the captain would set the lights in this position, taxi off to indicate that we are missing the takeoff clearance. And now he would call to the first officer, please do before takeoff checklist below the line. And below the line check would be strobe lights on, transponder TARA, and the MCP set like this. And the captain would call out before takeoff checklist below the line. First officer would say MCP, and now we verify the MCP. We have ARM, LNAV, ARM, LNAV, ARM, LNAV. MCP is set. Transponder, we're looking for TA only and confirm by the switch, TARA. Strobe lights, on. And now we're holding at landing lights. Good, so we're holding at the landing lights, we can seat the cabin crew. So the first officer would pick up the hand mic right here and say, cabin crew, take your seats for departure. Everything is now completed, except two things. We need our weather radar on, and we need our landing lights on. Those are the only two things. Well, we can increase the power a little bit here. We're shortly approaching intersection Mike. Guys, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna remove the yokes here. Otherwise, they'll get in the way of things when we do the departure. I hope it's okay. Clear right, clear on the left, and straight ahead. And Ryanair 21 Bravo, runway 27, the wind is 190 degrees at 6 knots, runway 27, you are cleared for takeoff. Okay, we're clear for takeoff, runway 27, Ryanair 21 Bravo. Confirm read back, okay, we're clear for takeoff, runway 27, clear on the right side, approach end is clear. Landing lights on and weather radar goes on before takeoff checklist is completed. I just need to align myself with the runway here. Something like this. And now we would call out timing, timing. Timing, and I have controls. You have controls. Clear for takeoff. Now I would set approximately 40%, but more than 40%. So minimum of 40%, okay? When that is stabilized, pilot monitoring would call stabilized. I would hit TOGA and call set takeoff thrust. Pilot monitoring would now verify takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Next thing is pilot monitoring would call 80 knots. 80 knots, checked. Next call out for the pilot monitoring. V1, rotate. Sorry about this, center line hold here. And we would rotate the aircraft. Gear up. Positive rate. LNAV. Bug up, please. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Flaps up. Speed checked. Flaps up. Now we can match the heading. Flaps are up. No lights. Okay. Set standard. Passing flight level 36, climbing flight level 60, VNAV. After takeoff checklist, please. And we're approaching flight level 60 within 2000, so let's go vertical speed and reduce the rate of climb here to 2000 to avoid a level bust. And now we will contact upper control here, and we say after takeoff checklist was called out by the pilot flying here. Start switches goes to off, taxi light off, auto brake off, EGS up and off. Pilot flying, 1000 feet to go, go down to VS 1000 here, and we can align the heading here for our next leg. Now the pilot monitoring will contact the air traffic control, and they will say, Ryanair 21 Bravo, you're clear to climb to flight level 190, inbound ALS. So pilot flying would set 190 here, 190, VNAV, and get the pilot flying, correction, pilot monitoring to update ALS. LNAV is available. LNAV, VNAV, and we check on our climb page. We have no restriction, so we are clear to climb. Happy days, happy to release the crew. Okay, if we're happy to release the crew, we press the attend button, and then we switch this one off. Now we can switch over to the VOR, which was the one that we were gonna fly into, and that was a 140, and we can set that here as well. That's just extra nonsense, guys. Just in case we needed to revert to manual conventional backup navigation. It's nice to have it tuned on both sides. 17 degrees outside, weather's looking fine, so icing is not an issue. Next thing that's going to happen is for the pilot monitoring, which will call out altimeters when we are approaching level 100. And that will give the pilot flying a chance to call out for the 10 checks. So now we would say altimeters, and pilot flying will say climbing through flight level 100 to flight level 190, 10 checks please. And now the pilot monitoring would do the 10 checks. First of all, we would say, okay, the fuel is balanced with 4 pumps on. Lights are off, APU is off, angle of bank is 25. We have air condition 4.2, diff pressure and a climb. The panel is set. Recall, aircraft is fine, happy to release the passengers. Let's go. Release the passengers. Go down and make sure we monitor 121.5. 1215, and then we would log on to CPDLC, and that is the 10 checks completed. Good guys, I hope you enjoyed this video as well. That was a full departure with most of the real world procedures here. Of course, there's a little bit more to it when you're 2 pilots. It's a little bit hard sometimes to just be single pilot completing all of this, but I hope you enjoyed it and that you can take away a thing or two from what we just did. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I hope to see you some other time. If you have any suggestions or questions, let me know in the comments below, and see you another time. Bye bye, guys.